There is a kind of power that almost nobody talks about. It doesn't announce itself. It doesn't demand attention. It doesn't need applause. And yet, it quietly shapes the destiny of every person who possesses it. Most people believe strength is loud. They believe it looks like confidence, like dominance, like always having the right answer, like winning every argument, like proving everyone wrong. But history tells a different story. The strongest people were rarely the loudest. They were the calmest. Because true power is not measured by how much control you have over the world. It is measured by how much control you have over yourself. Think about it. Two people can face the exact same problem, the same betrayal, the same financial hardship, the same disappointment, the same uncertainty. One collapses under pressure, the other remains steady. One reacts emotionally, the other thinks clearly. One loses hope, the other discovers a new path. The difference isn't intelligence. It isn't luck. It isn't talent. And it certainly isn't perfect circumstances. The difference is the ability to remain calm when life invites you to panic. That kind of calm isn't something people are born with. It is trained. It is earned. It is built one decision at a time. And today, that is exactly what we're going to explore. But before we continue, I'd like to ask something of you. Not for me, for yourself. Take a quiet moment and write these words in the comments. Calm is my strength. Don't write them because YouTube encourages engagement. Don't write them because I asked you to. Write them because every meaningful transformation begins with a decision. And every decision becomes stronger the moment you give it words. Those few words may seem simple today, but one difficult day, they might become the reminder you needed most. And if you believe conversations like this deserve to reach more people searching for clarity, take a moment to leave a like and share this video with someone who may need these words today. Now, let's begin. Modern life has convinced us that speed is strength. Everything around us rewards urgency. Answer faster, work harder, move quicker, consume more, react immediately. We rush through conversations, we rush through meals, we rush through relationships, we even rush through our own thoughts. But here's what almost nobody realizes. A hurried mind is rarely a wise mind. The faster your emotions move, the slower your judgment becomes. And that's exactly why so many people make life-changing decisions in moments they should have remained silent. An angry message, a reckless purchase, a relationship ended in a single conversation, a career abandoned after one difficult week, not because the decision was necessary, but because emotion demanded immediate action. The Stoic philosophers understood something that modern society has almost forgotten. Between what happens to you and how you respond, there is a space so small that most people never notice it. Yet inside that space, your entire future is waiting. Because every meaningful life is built one response at a time, not one circumstance at a time, not one opportunity at a time, one response, every single day. And the people who learn to protect that space become almost impossible to break. Most people believe their greatest enemy is the difficult situation standing in front of them. But that has never been the real battle. The real battle begins much earlier. It begins in the mind. Every challenge arrives twice. First as an event, then as a story. The event itself is often beyond your control. A job disappears. Someone leaves. A diagnosis changes your future. An unexpected phone call turns your entire day upside down. These moments belong to life. No one escapes them. But the story is something entirely different. The story is what your mind begins whispering the moment the event happens. This shouldn't be happening. I'm not strong enough. My life is falling apart. I'll never recover. Those sentences feel real, but they are not reality. They are interpretations, and interpretations can be changed. Marcus Aurelius wrote something that has survived nearly 2,000 years because it speaks directly to this truth. You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength. Think about those words for a moment. He didn't say you have power over people. He didn't say you have power over the economy. He didn't say you have power over the weather, or luck, or time. He said something much more important. You have power over your own mind, and once you truly understand that, life begins to look different. Not easier, different. Imagine standing in the middle of a violent storm. You cannot stop the rain. You cannot command the wind. You cannot ask the thunder to remain silent. But you can choose where you stand. You can decide whether to panic or prepare, whether to complain or adapt, whether to waste your energy fighting reality or invest that energy in moving forward. Calm people are not people without problems. They are people who refuse to become another problem. That distinction changes everything. Have you ever noticed how one calm person can completely change the atmosphere in a room? When everyone else is anxious, they slow the conversation. When people argue, they listen. When emotions explode, they breathe. It almost seems like they live in another reality. But they don't. They simply trained a skill that most people never practice. The ability to pause. That pause is invisible. No one applauds it. No one congratulates you for taking one deep breath before speaking. No one notices the argument you avoided because you chose silence over pride. No one celebrates the impulsive decision you never made. Yet, those invisible victories slowly build an extraordinary life. The strongest foundations are always built underground. Roots grow in silence. Character grows the same way. Most people want immediate results. They want confidence overnight, discipline in a week, peace by next month. But the mind doesn't grow that way. The mind grows through repetition. Every moment you choose patience over panic, you strengthen it. Every moment you replace reaction with reflection, you strengthen it. Every moment you refuse to let anger control your words, you strengthen it. The problem is that these victories don't feel exciting. Scrolling your phone is exciting. Reacting emotionally feels exciting. Winning an argument feels exciting. But becoming wiser is usually quiet. That's why so few people stay on the path. They mistake noise for progress. Real progress is often almost invisible. Imagine lifting weights at the gym. One workout changes almost nothing. You look the same. You feel almost the same. But repeat that process hundreds of times, and an entirely different person begins to emerge. The mind works exactly the same way. Every calm decision becomes another repetition, another invisible workout, another layer of emotional strength, another brick in the foundation of your character. One day, people will call you resilient. They will admire your patience. They will wonder why difficult situations never seem to shake you. What they won't see are the thousands of quiet decisions that built that strength. Because true power is never built in one extraordinary moment. It is built in ordinary moments, repeated with extraordinary consistency. And perhaps that is the greatest misunderstanding of our generation. People chase extraordinary lives while ignoring the ordinary habits that create them. There is another reason why calm has become so rare. It isn't because people have become weaker. It is because the world has become louder. Every single day, someone is competing for your attention. Your phone vibrates. A notification appears. Breaking news. Another opinion. Another crisis. Another reason to react. We are surrounded by a culture that rewards immediacy. Respond now. Comment now. Choose a side now. Become angry now. Very few voices ever say, pause, think, observe, and yet those 3 words may save you from years of unnecessary suffering. The Stoics believed that freedom begins the moment you stop allowing external events to dictate your inner world. That idea sounds simple until life tests you, someone insults you. Do you surrender your peace or keep it? Someone doubts your abilities. Do you spend days trying to prove them wrong or continue building your life? You make a mistake. Do you define yourself by one moment or allow yourself to grow? These questions seem small, but your answers quietly shape your future, because every emotional reaction becomes a habit, and habits eventually become identity. Most people don't wake up one morning and suddenly become anxious. They practice anxiety, one fearful thought at a time, one catastrophic prediction after another, one sleepless night, one unnecessary argument, one habit repeated often enough, until the mind begins believing that chaos is normal. The opposite is also true. Calm can be practiced. Confidence can be practiced. Discipline can be practiced. Peace can be practiced. Your brain is always learning. The only question is, what are you teaching it? Every time you stop yourself before reacting, your brain learns patience. Every time you choose reflection instead of impulse, your brain learns discipline. Every time you accept what you cannot control, your brain becomes stronger. People often imagine mental strength as something dramatic. They picture someone facing impossible odds, standing alone against the world. But real mental strength usually appears in ordinary moments. It appears when you wake up and decide not to reach for your phone immediately. It appears when someone criticizes you and you choose curiosity instead of anger. It appears when fear tells you to quit and you quietly take one more step. These moments rarely become stories. No one applauds them, no one records them. Yet these are the moments that slowly transform a human being. Imagine 2 trees growing side by side. One has always been protected from the wind. The other has faced storms every season. Which one develops deeper roots? The storm did not weaken the second tree. It forced it to grow. Life works the same way. Every difficulty carries 2 possibilities. It can either become the reason you break or the reason you become unbreakable. The difference is rarely the difficulty itself. It is the mindset you bring into it. There is a sentence worth remembering. Comfort is pleasant, but it is a terrible teacher. Growth rarely happens when everything feels easy. It happens when your habits are challenged, when your patience is tested, when your emotions ask for control, and you calmly refuse to hand them the steering wheel. That is where real transformation begins, not in perfect circumstances, not in ideal conditions, but in the ordinary decision to remain steady, even when life gives you every reason not to. And perhaps that is what calm truly is, not the absence of difficulty, but the quiet confidence that no difficulty will decide who you become. Take a moment and think about the last time life truly tested you. Not an ordinary inconvenience, a real test. Maybe someone you loved walked away. Maybe you lost something you worked years to build. Maybe your plans collapsed without warning. Or perhaps you're living through that moment right now. If that's where you are, I want you to hear this carefully. You are not weak because life feels heavy. You are human. Even the greatest philosophers experienced grief. Even the strongest leaders felt fear. Even the wisest minds faced uncertainty. Strength was never the absence of emotion. Strength is refusing to let emotion become your master. There is a quiet moment that appears in every difficult season. Most people never notice it because they are too busy reacting. But if you pay attention, you'll find it. It is the moment when life asks you one simple question. Who are you going to become because of this? Not, why did this happen? Not, who is to blame, not when will this end, but who are you becoming? That single question changes everything. Because suffering always gives us two options. It can make us bitter, or it can make us wiser. It can harden our hearts, or deepen our compassion. It can convince us that life is against us, or teach us that every challenge carries a lesson. The event is rarely the final chapter. Your response writes the ending. One day, you will look back on this season of your life. And I wonder, what story will you tell yourself? Will you remember the fear or the courage you discovered? Will you remember the uncertainty or the resilience you built? Will you remember the pain or the person that pain shaped you into? Because one day, this difficult chapter will simply become another page in your story. But the person you become while living through it will stay with you forever. That is why calm matters, not because calm removes suffering, but because calm allows wisdom to enter while suffering is still present. It allows you to see possibilities where panic only sees endings. It allows you to make decisions your future self will thank you for. It allows you to protect something that the world cannot replace, your peace. And once you understand that, you stop chasing control over everything around you. Instead, you begin mastering the only thing that has ever truly belonged to you, your own mind. Imagine waking up every morning knowing that whatever happens today, you have trained yourself to face it. Not perfectly, not fearlessly, but consciously. Imagine no longer giving strangers the power to ruin your day. Imagine no longer carrying yesterday's anger into tomorrow's opportunities. Imagine becoming the kind of person whose presence calms everyone else. That is real influence. That is real leadership. That is real power. Not because the world changed, but because you did. So as you leave this conversation today, don't ask yourself how to make life easier. Ask yourself something far more valuable. How can I become the kind of person that remains steady when life becomes difficult? If you ask that question often enough, your entire life will begin to change. One quiet decision at a time. One calm response at a time. One ordinary day at a time. Because greatness is rarely built in extraordinary moments. It is built in the small decisions that nobody sees, until one day, everyone notices the person you have become. If today's reflection stayed with you, consider subscribing to the Mental Gym. Every week, we explore timeless wisdom, practical psychology, and the habits that help build a calmer, stronger, and more disciplined mind. If someone you care about is going through a difficult season, share this video with them. Sometimes, a single idea arriving at the right moment can change the direction of a life. Thank you for spending these moments with me. Until next time, protect your peace, train your mind, and remember, the strongest person in the room is rarely the loudest. It's the one who has learned to remain calm when everyone else has forgotten how.